We have owned the NC750X and CB500X for 4 years and done many long and short trips. Both are manual transmission. The NC is a 2016 model and the CB is a 2013 model. In this video, I'm only going to compare the two bikes. That is, what are the differences that might make one better than the other? I've got a number of reviews of just the NC on my channel that you can go to, and there are lots of people who have reviewed the CB500X individually. Let's start with the CB. It's got a lower purchase price. It's got almost as much power, with 34 kilowatts at 8,500 revs and 43 Nm at 7,000 revs, but its Revia engine is something that many prefer. The power to weight ratio is 0.175 kilowatts per kilogram, almost as much as the NC. It has a lower weight at 195 kilograms wet versus 219 kilograms wet for the NC. It's got a comfy seat. It's got a lower seat height from the ground, so it's better for shorter people. The seat height's 810 versus 830 for the NC. It has about the same fuel economy as the NC, but with a larger capacity of 17.3 litres, it's got a longer range. It's got a conventional fuel filler, so you'd have to remove a tank bag if you had one on the tank. There's arguably more aftermarket stuff for the CB500X. As far as maintenance goes, the CB has shim valve adjustment, which is much harder to check and adjust, but it's got a much easier access to the air filter. All the other maintenance tasks are pretty much the same as the NC, and easy. The other things that are similar to the NC are the brake performance, the budget suspension, the good handling, wind protection, ground clearance, and it's got the same wheel and tyre specs. Alright, now for the NC. It's got a little more power at 39.4 kilowatts at 6,250 revs and 68 Nm at 4,750. But as the power comes down lower in the rev range, the engine feels more powerful. However, the power to weight ratio is 0.180 kilowatts per kilogram, which is almost the same as the CB at 0.175. However, in our case, when you add the heavier rider to the NC, this cancels out the power difference altogether. The NC is heavier. It's 219 kilograms wet versus 195 for the CB. It's got a higher seat height of 830mm, so it's a bit more roomy for taller people. It has a glove box. It has about the same fuel economy as the CB, but because the fuel capacity is only 14.1 litres, it's got a shorter range. The fuel filler's under the seat. This can be a bit of a pain if you've got a bag on your back seat, and this has got to be removed first. As for maintenance, the NC has screw and lock nut valve adjustment, so this is much easier than on the CB. However, the air cleaner is much harder to get to. All the other maintenance items are about the same as the CB and easy. As mentioned for the CB, the brakes, suspension, handling, wind protection, ground clearance, and wheel and tyre specs are all pretty much the same. Both these bikes are well mannered and handle touring and day trips perfectly. So, given our 4 years of ownership of both these bikes, which bike do I think is the best? Is it my NC750X or Wendy's CB500X? In my opinion, it's the CB500X that's the winner. But if you need to have DCT or you're a big chunky monkey like me, then the NC is probably a better deal.